Hey, Don, the Auction Professor here. I just wanted to touch base a little bit on what it's going to take you to actually succeed at eBay or Amazon. A lot of people watch some of the videos from other people here on YouTube, and they just see that, you know, you sell 10 pairs of jeans or 100 pairs of jeans every day of the week, and you're going to be making $10,000, $20,000 a month. It doesn't work like that. It never has. It never will. You might get lucky, and for 1 out of 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 people may have that happen to them. But for the most people, for the average person, you know, on the street, it's just not going to work that way. It took us years to get to where we're at. We're almost 5 years into it now, full-time sellers. And we're just, you know, now at a point where we relax and can enjoy ourselves a lot more than we ever have in our life. But it took us some long hours. The first year or two we did this, we devoted everything we had to it. Every dime we had went into this, every single dime, to buy merchandise, to buy the equipment, to buy good stuff, to actually improve it as we went along. And we spent 12-hour days, you know, at least 5 days a week when we first started. We wanted to get as much up as quickly as we could, and it was a mad dash rush. It was hour after hour, day after day, you know, 65 hours a week probably on average we did. We always work pretty much at least sometime every single day of the week. But it's not work again like, you know, you think of a normal job where you know, clocking the time card in and going to some location to work for somebody else. This is your own thing, so you can come and go, you can stop, you can eat, you can do whatever you want. But without putting in that time, energy, and your dedication into it, you're never going to succeed. It's just not going to happen. A lot of people can give out this information like me and talk about doing this because a lot of people are just going to give up. They're just not going to take it serious enough. They don't have the mentality or the can-do attitude, or they're just not have a good regiment to stick to it every day, to list every day. They're just so used to someone telling them what to do that they're just not making the transition the way. For us, I was a boss, a manager, a regional manager as well. I handled an entire area, so I'm used to talking to people and telling people what to do and trying to be in control of the situation. So I don't mind setting my own time, my own hours, and working long hours. I can push myself that way because I never want to work for someone again. This is what we want to do. We want to build a big company out of this, or companies. We have several companies now, but you have to put in the time. If you're not doing long hours and really beating it, you're not going to make it. And that's why people give up, or they think it's just going to be a quick turn on their time and investment, and they'll work really hard for a month or so, and then they're just not making as much money as they had before. They don't have the funds to keep going, or they're nervous, and they just don't want to take that plunge. If you take the plunge and you work really hard at it, and you constantly doing it, and you're looking for sources all the time, and you're always listing and advancing, getting more listings, you know, after you get your first 500 listings or 1,000 listings or 2,000 listings, you're just going up and up. And then, so when you keep listing these things, you have a big store, it's like residual income. Let's say I start with 100 items one week, I get up, I sell 20 of those, so next week I'm already starting with 80. I list now another 100 items, so now I'm up to 180 items. I sell 20 more. I'm up to 160 on my third week starting. So I mean, you're building up your inventory online, your live auctions that way. I personally would do everything as a buy it now option, fixed price with a make an offer. That's how I do it for almost everything. That is your best chance for most items, clothing especially. I would not give away shipping. I would charge shipping for any item. Test it out yourself, and you'll see there's no real difference between free shipping and charging for shipping, at least in the items we sell. And we sell a lot of clothing. Everybody pays for it. I don't see the difference. And on my prices, my sale prices with charging for shipping are more than comparable, if not higher, than what other people do. I'm not sure why, but that's just how it works. Maybe it's my feedback rating, I don't know, or my time on eBay. But I put a lot of work in to get to this point. I put a ton of hours in. My wife's put a ton of hours in. Our kids work all the time for us too. And then we have 4 more employees besides the 4 of my family members that do this. That's what it took for us to get to this point. We're heading towards 40,000 active listings right now, just on eBay through 3 stores that we have. Well, two stores, two anchor stores, and then another actual account we have. And then we also have, you know, thousands and thousands of items on Discogs, all records. We have thousands of items on Amazon and some other of the sites, Poshmark and Etsy. We don't have as much. We have a few hundred on each one of those. We're very selective on what we sell on those. The kind of things that I want to do for the future would sell very well on Amazon, we're hoping. We're still trying to advance Amazon to get our brand registered on there. But that's what we're looking for. That's where we're heading. We had this plan almost 5 years ago when we started this. We're thinking, you know, if it ever did go well in the future, that this is what we do. We do our own endeavors, our own artwork, our own, you know, toys and branding and the whole works. And we finally got to that point. It's taken, again, 4 years to do it. A very, very hard work. If you're not going to put in the hard work, you're going to fail. I'm just being real. That's the facts of it. You can watch all the videos you want, mine or anybody else's videos you want. If you don't put the work and the time and the research into the items, you're just not going to make it. You got to break the mindset of working for somebody and take it seriously. I know a lot of people who work for other people are, you know, it's just your boss or it's a national company. They're making all the money, and I shouldn't say you're disgruntled, but you don't take it as serious when it's somebody else's money as you would when it's yours. You need to break the mentality of working for somebody else and realize that every dime you're losing is a dime you're losing out of your own pocket. So take it seriously, attack it, work it hard, list every day if that's what it takes. You work, you know, 30 days every day of the week for 30 straight days if that's what it takes to get enough up on. It's not something you're going to have to do forever in your life. It's something you're going to have to do when you start off. Any company in the real world, when they start a company or a business or open a new store, they work hard as can be. I've opened many new stores, and it's been 80, 90-hour weeks for me in the past for 2 or 3 weeks till the new store is established and running, and then after that it slacks off and you can slowly slack off from there. But it's a lot of time, a lot of work to do eBay and Amazon. It's not some simpleton job. It's harder in many cases than working for somebody else as your job. You have to source your own items. You have to ship your own items. You have to handle all your own customer service, all your own issues, all your own emails, packing, getting the materials, finding the sources, pricing them. Everything is on you. So it's more important than ever for you to take it that serious. But if you're not going to do that, you're not going to succeed. Everybody can do this. You just have to take the dedication and time and put the effort into it. It's a lot of work. A lot of people thought this wasn't a real job, and a lot of people said that to us. Yes, no real job. But I can come and go as I want, and I make more money than most everybody I know at this point. I mean, that's just a fact. Not something to brag, not trying to rub it in on anybody's face or anything else like that at all, but that's the facts of the matter here. And I used to make good money too as a regional, but I'm making way over what I've ever made in my life from doing what I'm doing now. And then I'm my own boss. We're in our own control of every aspect of this. And I just tell the friends and stuff that talk about this and say, you know, it's not really, you don't really do much. We do a lot, we work hard. It's not hard to do what we do, but it's a lot of work when you're getting into it and you want to do well. And for us right now, we're doing a ton of extra work trying to get Halloween artwork going, trying to get Christmas toys going, and constructing models and things like that for this, and our templates and things like that. So, you know, we're trying to do everything we can on top of our eBay right now. So that's what it takes to do this. If you've got endeavors and you want to eventually not have to deal with clothing anymore, or not have to do with doing normal things on eBay, and would like to move to something like you can put 1 or 2 listings up somewhere that could generate $10,000 a month on, that's what you need to advance at. That's what you need to look into. That's what our goals are. Again, our goals, I'll still always have stuff on eBay. I don't care what happens. eBay is still going to be a good money maker for us. I might, you know, in the future, you know, let one of my kids do most of it. You know, we'll take a percentage and split it with somebody. That could be a very well something that we could do. But our goal is to run our own artwork to the art chains and do the art festivals and shows, and sell a lot of our actually own artwork at, you know, on Amazon, or our own products. Something I can list, just a couple listings, and make a residual income constantly, a constant sale. A couple times a week an item will sell, or a couple times a day an item will sell. And then when I get one that does that, then I move on and find another one, and another one, and another one. So you get 10, 20, 30 items. You have a whole inventory of items that routinely sell for you. They're your own items that you can produce. It's not like private branding or anything like that, or private logos or anything like that. This is I'm making the product from scratch. I've designed it, I've built it, I've produced, you know, molds for it, and we'll actually produce it here until we can get to a point where we can pay someone to produce it for us, or hire somebody to produce it in Japan or China. That would be our goal, and it would be more efficient for us. It would be a lot cheaper to produce two instead of doing them a couple at a time. But that's where we're heading. That's some words of advice. I would recommend taking them. It's a lot of work, it really is, and don't want to make it look like it's easy. A lot of people say, I don't see this, or they'll look at something that I've put in a video, and I understand, because I never saw any of these items. I never knew anything about most of these items. I would have never guessed that I would sell a little ticket for 150 bucks, or a label for 275 bucks, or a trade card for $500 or $600. I would have never, ever thought that in my life. It just how it turned out for us. It's just kept steering in a direction, and that direction took us where it took us to right now, and it's changed our life. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm nothing special. There's nothing special about me. I don't have any inside knowledge until the day I started doing eBay full-time. And that's how I learned pretty much all the issues and areas and what to cover and how to buy and what items sell the best for us. And we started with clothing. We did more clothing than anything else. So we learned and steered towards the higher dollar, higher investment. Obviously, you have to spend more money sometimes. But the kickbacks and returns on it are huge compared to clothing. And the amount of space it takes up is, in most cases, probably a tenth of what clothing takes up. Sometimes a 20th. It's a huge amount of stuff in a small area. Like this shelf here is probably like 6,000 items on this one shelf. No exaggeration. This goes two back. There's items behind these too. They can be accessed from both sides. These go way back into here. So you can just kind of see, and then on and on. I mean, there's probably some of these. There might be 1,000, 2,000 things in this box. It just takes up so much less space. And this is things that we learned, and this is, hard work of doing this and categorizing and marking things down and keeping records and track of everything. But that's what it took us to get there. You may be able to do it a different way, but if you're not working hard at it to start with, you're just not going to make it. It's just not going to happen. It didn't happen for us until we put in all that time. So, and everybody I know who's succeeded has worked their butt off to get to that point. And then they can relax and enjoy a little bit of stuff after that. It might take you a year or two to get to a point where you're making, or at least selling $100,000 a year. And that's where you want to hit to. That should be a goal. You set yourself a goal, and you want to do that. If you're selling $100,000 a year and you've got a very good margin, our margin on many cases is like we're making a profit of 65% on every dollar that we sell. That's profit after the fees on many items, because we pay pennies when I buy them in bulk, or I pay $1 for something on typical average that's just selling for $10, $20, $30. So, that's what you're looking at. But that's what I have for today. Hopefully take that as words of wisdom from someone who's done it and has worked the hard hours into it and has expanded his business to a point. We're at a point now where we can relax. And as I said, we're heading towards the 40,000 listing. And we're not stopping. We're going up to 100,000 if that's what it takes. But again, Don, the Auction Professor, please hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe and tell a friend.